Hello and welcome to another stream. My name's Ray and it is Learning Korean with Ray, day 208. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yesterday we sadly had no stream because I had to work a bit longer yesterday, so I didn't have time. But today is a fresh new day and we will think about where we stopped 2 days ago. We did start with the vocabulary of lesson 22, but then I realized just the vocabulary with like 3 different words, just multiple translations for the same word doesn't really make sense, so we switched to starting the grammar of lesson 22, and that's where we stopped. So let's go into that. There we have how to study Korean.com. That is definitely not correct. Here we go. 22. Yeah, we learned about how and what, and we stopped here after this one. So we kind of confirmed that musot is basically the same as more. So why would you ever use the right one? Yeah, and then that was the end of the lesson. And today we'll continue with musin. And then we have which and how many, how much, how many. So yeah, let's go in right away. Okay. Yeah, I think we should we do a little summary of the previous chapters? I don't think so. Yeah, let's go over it very quickly here. 어떻게 as an adverb, place as an adverb. 어때 is 어때 is definitely, we had 2 different alternatives and this one was way more common. Yeah, okay, anyways, yeah, 어때, I don't see the alternative, but 어때 is definitely the more common one. So what's the difference between 어떻게 and 어때? I'm not super sure right now. Okay. Okay, 어때 is used to say how is, how was, when you want to ask someone's opinion, evaluation of something. Okay. And 어떻게 was how do you do a verb, right? Yeah, here you can ask 어떻게 how to ask, or you can use 어떻게 to ask how somebody does a verb, and this one is to ask what something is and how was something, what do you think about something. Okay. And then we had what. We had the first 2 of those, which again are basically the same. And we just replace the noun that we ask for, the unknown thing that is usually the noun in the sentence. So here chima is skirt, the noun. I put on a skirt, and we replace this one with what. Okay. No perfect particles. Yeah, and then we had one situation where you do use a particle when the the previous person is omitting the thing you asked for from the sentence. So I ate a lot. What are you eating? So he's not specifying what he's eating, just that he ate a lot. So if you ask for what you're eating, then you put a particle there, and then there's also a short form called mol, where you put one R at the end of more. And that's it. What is this? What is your name? You can also combine it with Ida. Okay, perfect. And now let's go to Musin. It is placed before nouns to describe them, okay? Like what kind of movie? Do you want to see that movie? Do you want to see that scary movie? What movie do you want to see? Yeah, what kind of movie? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, yeah, when you ask for an adjective describing the noun that was mentioned. So the noun is, or is it? Let's see, let's see. The dictionary form musin is musin. Okay. Hallo, annyeong, Kaya. Welcome to the stream. It looks like an adjective, but the word itself is musin. It's not actually an adjective. Okay. It's used when the speaker doesn't know what an object is and is asking about what it may be. Okay, so here we are asking for nouns for the first two. What did you eat? This is also an object. What is that smell? Que così? That thing? What smell? Okay, so it kind of feels like it's also like an adverb in the same position, like in front of the verb. Actually, no, never mind. In front of a noun, yeah, before a noun. What smell? What thoughts? What sound? What do you mean? Mari. Okay. So in the first what, which is more, is for example, what did you eat? Okay, so how, I don't know, it's weird. It's, for me it's kind of similar. So this one is about what something is so far. But I mean, we also had that here in the previous one, where you combine it with ida. Here, what is this? Yeah, what is this? What's for lunch? What is your name? What is that smell? That's, for me, the same kind of sentence, the same structure of the sentence. So I'm not really sure what the difference is so far. One way I like to think of Musin is how it can be distinguished from Odon and Ode or One. Yeah, okay, you which you learn next lesson. I was just thinking, wait, what were those two words? Have I already forgot it? Was this in the last lesson? Was it earlier in this lesson? I don't know these words. I know I've seen them before. He mentioned them previously, but uh, he didn't explain it. Okay. Okay. Musin is used when the speaker is asking a question and has no idea what the answer will be. Okay, but if I ask, what did you eat? I also have no idea what the answer is, right? Is it you versus no you? What? I don't understand the question. But thanks for tuning in, G Kratos. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, please rephrase your question. Is it you versus no you? If you're talking about these two things, I don't know. I have no idea. If you're not asking about these two, then please rephrase your question. Okay, the answer could be almost an unlimited choice. Okay, so if you really are completely... Yeah, but I mean, what is that smell? Yeah, it could be... I guess there are more options compared to what have you eaten, but what have you eaten? Like, what did you eat? There are also a lot of options. Except, of course, if it's your partner, for example, and you know what's in the fridge, in the refrigerator, then you only have like 3 options or so. Of course, it's a special situation, but if I don't know the home of the person, or he was somewhere in the city and I don't know what he eats, there are also many options, right? Okay, I have no idea either. Nice. I might use it if I walk into a room and smell something for the first time. For the first time, okay. Because of this, I would not know the source of the smell and would have no idea what the answer to my question might be. Answer could be anywhere from my fart to the toaster. Likewise, if I ask, what are you thinking? Yeah, okay, if someone's just staring into space. But I could also, like, if I discuss a certain topic with a person, and then I see him, like, staring into space, the number of options is not really unlimited. Maybe he has some specific things about the topic we just discussed that he isn't sure about or so. The answer could be my future eating pizza. Okay. I'm not sure if that's simple enough. I don't agree that it's simple enough. I still don't see the real difference between Musin and Moor. Here, for example, do you want to see that movie? I mean, the number of options... Wait, actually, never mind. Here, this. What movie do you want to see? The number of options is not unlimited. You're probably thinking about going to the theater or the cinema, and you know there's a certain amount of movies available. So maybe you have 8 movies or so available. So if I just read this explanation and then should translate this sentence, I would actually not use Musin. I would use more from above. So this is still not really clear to me. But maybe we'll find some more examples in the next paragraph. Okay, so let's here. Okay, here we have it. Here we have the two words that were just mentioned. Okay, so let's read this. Maybe Musin also becomes clearer with that. Let's see. Okay, so Otton, it's another one of these words that, although not an adjective, we can place before a noun to describe it. Do you want to see a movie? Do you want to see a scary movie? What movie do you want to see? Which movie do you want to see? Musin or Otton? Otton. Otton. Is that really correct? Otton?
어떤 영화를 보고 싶어요?
어떤 영화를 어떤 영화를 보고 싶어요?
어떤 영화를 보고 싶어요?
Do you want to buy that car? Do you want to buy an expensive car? What car do you want to buy? Musin. Which car you want to buy? The first question every learner has when learning about 어떤 is how it can be differentiated from Musin and Moor. Hi Flo, thanks for tuning in, welcome. 어떤 usually translates to which, and Musin usually translates to what. Yeah, so to be honest, in these sentences, I would always use which if I speak English. Yeah, but in these example sentences, you can't say which. Which is that sound? That makes no sense. But here is definitely which, in my opinion. So let's see if we can apply that logic, that those thoughts when to use which and when to use what that I have for the English language. I hope we can apply that to Korean as well. Probably not, but we'll see. Their meanings are very similar and the respective English translations don't really give any hints as to what the differences between the two are. The difference is subtle, and at this point you don't really need to fully understand how they are different. The difference is even hard for Korean people to understand, and using one of them in place of the other usually creates a sentence with essentially the exact same meaning. That being said, let me give you a brief introduction of how they are different. In the case of asking questions, 어떤 is used for two main reasons. To choose from a selection of options. So like going into the cinema and choosing between the movies currently available in the cinema, right? Or in the theaters. I'm not sure which is American and British English. Movie theater or cinema? I don't know. Okay, for example, in 어떤 차를 사고 싶어요. So which car do you want to buy? Maybe you're selling cars and giving a person a selection of cars to choose from. Also here you technically don't know the answer to the question. You can assume it will be from a limited number of choices given. Okay, I can see that. I can see. If I have a limited number, an obvious selection, then you use 어떤. Okay. To ask about the type of properties or characteristic related to a person or an object. For example, in 어떤 차를 사고 싶어요? Again, the same sentence. Which car do you want to buy? Maybe you're asking your friend about the type of car he wants to buy based on the characteristics of it. Okay, so more like which kind of car. Here you could be asking if he wants to buy a van, SUV, truck. Yeah, okay, so kind of car. Which kind makes sense in this example. Okay, by looking at those two main usages, you can see how Oton should not be used to replace musin in most situations. For example, in the examples earlier with musin, I showed you this sentence. What is that smell? Yeah, obviously you don't say which there. Yeah, musin would be used when the person doesn't know the source of the smell, has no idea what the smell could be. Like I said earlier, the answer to the question would likely indicate the source of the smell and could literally be anything from farts to the toaster. However, Oton, namesaya, in most situations would be ridiculous. So you have a like selection of smells. Maybe in a quiz show where the candidate has to like he gets certain smells. He has his eyes covered, and he gets certain smells to his nose, and then he has to decide which smell comes from the apple. Smell number 1, 2, or 3. Maybe in such a situation that would be possible, but in most situations you would use musin. It could only be used if you're asking a person to tell you about the characteristics of a smell. Okay, all that, yeah. So I just gave you the quiz show example for this main usage, but he's referring to the other one. The characteristics of a smell. Imagine if you had a bouquet of flowers and put the flowers to your friend's nose. In this case, you want your friend to describe the characteristics of the smell. Is it a nice smell, a fresh smell, a rosy smell? The answer to this question would likely be describing the characteristics of the smell. Okay. Despite this distinction, there are many situations where Oton and Musin could basically be used interchangeably. For example, ask a Korean person if they can describe the difference between the two sentences. 무슨 영화를 보고 싶어요? Or 어떤 영화를 보고 싶어요? 보고 싶어요. Yeah, okay, I can definitely see the difference. Here the speaker has no idea what the answer could be. And here we have the speaker would have given a listener a choice, yeah, as a selection of choices, multiple choices to choose from. All would be asking about the type of movie, for example, comedy, horror, or love story. Okay, yeah, so this difference for me is very clear. I can see the difference. I can remember the two situations where I would use Oton in comparison or in contrast to Musin, but I still don't know the difference between Musin and Moor. Because if we go back now to Moor here, what did you eat? So we could also we could have a nice selection of things, a limited number of options, for example, because you have three things in the fridge and you ask, okay, what did you eat from those three things in the fridge? That selection is implied. So that could be a situation, or you could also ask for the type of food. Maybe did you like eat a full dinner, or did you just maybe eat a little snack or so? Oh well. And also, it can be that you have no idea about the options. You have not a limited selection of options, but like you have no idea what the other one have eaten. It could be anything. Or you have that limited number of options because you're living with that person in one room or with one fridge, and you know there are only three things he could have eaten. So I don't know. Muosin equals Musin. No, Musin is in its own word. He definitely said it. It's not some other particle or so. So the dictionary form is Musin here. It looks like adjective with something attached to it and so on, but the word itself is Musin. Okay, more or muot only before verbs. Okay, only before verbs. And musin only before nouns. Okay, that is a good difference. mm, what have you eaten? What did you eat? Yeah, okay, there's no noun here. That's true. Okay, okay. Okay, so that's a difference. So thanks, Kaya. I see. I was too focused on the the number of options. Okay. What did you eat? What food did you eat? Then you have a noun there. Okay, yeah, but I guess then you would use musin. Okay then. So we have more, we have musin, and we have oton. Now this one is missing. One. So let's see. Hi KJUF21. Welcome to the stream. Okay, where did we stop? I think here, right? Yeah, here we stopped. Okay. Another usage of oton is completely unrelated to asking questions can be seen in this sentence. Some men came here yesterday. Oton namchanin oje yogie waso. Yogie waso. Yeah, came here yesterday. So this means some in this context. Here, oton is used to show that this speaker knew a man came but is unsure of specifically who he was. And this can be applied to other nouns as well. So again, in front of a noun here, in this special situation as well. This can be applied to other nouns as well when the speaker is aware of some object but is unsure of what specific object is in question. For example, I was reading some book. The speaker doesn't know exactly what book he was reading. that's weird. Maybe if he forgot the title, this would make sense. But I mean, if you're reading a book, you, I mean, you know what you're reading, right? It's kind of weird. Probably just the situation that he forgot the title. I went into some building. Okay. Yeah, like I said, he forgot about it. Forgetting it for whatever reason, dementia or memory loss, both are forgetting the title. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it could have been that um, it's only applied when it was happening, you know? For example, when he was actually reading it, in the moment he was reading it, in that specific moment, he knew what the book was. And then later on, now that he's saying it and he's speaking about it in the past form, now he doesn't know it anymore. So you could see it both ways, but now I know, okay, uh, you also can use Oton even if you knew it at that time, but now forgot it. You can use Oton. Could have been that then in that specific situation it's not allowed. I work with old people and they never know what books they are reading. Yeah, okay. Ah, okay, I see, I see. You mean when the person is actually right now reading it, but because of dementia he already forgot the last sentence. I see, I see. Yeah, I like my grandma mother was uh, also did have dementia, I guess is the correct sentence. Yeah, I know it. um, just when you thought you might actually be understanding this confusion, we have to look at another word with similar meaning. Or ne. Or ne. Another way you can ask this type of question is with the word or ne. Like musin and oton, one is placed immediately before nouns. Unfortunately for your brain, one translates to which, like oton, if I remember correct. No, wait. No, it's correct. Oton, yeah. um, for example, do you want to see a movie? Do you want to see a scary movie? What movie do you want to see? Which movie do you want to see? Which movie do you want to see? Okay. Oh man. Oh man. So now we already have like 4 different words for which and what. So those are the 3 different options that can be placed before a noun. And the fourth option, which is more, cannot be placed before a noun, but is used when asking about a verb, or is placed before a verb, basically. But these 3 are placed before nouns. Okay. This one for asking about characteristics, or if you know there's a limited number of options. This one, if you don't know the options, and it could be anything. And this one we will learn about now. Just recapping in my brain. Okay, in the case of asking questions, one is used in a similar way to the first explanation I gave of oton from above. That is to choose from a selection of options. It would not be used to refer to the type of characteristics or properties of an object, and would not be used to refer to something unknown. Okay, So not be used to something unknown like musin, not for type or characteristics like oton, but maybe for selection of options also like oton. Okay. Here you can see the usages of musin, oton, and onil, one, one overlap on multiple levels. Although this overlap leads to confusion, it also allows each word to be used interchangeably in most cases, which makes using them easier than you think. In my opinion, it is just as important to realize how not to use each of these words when asking a question. Yeah. Yeah, of course. If there are many situations where you can use multiple of those question words, then of course it's more important to know which are this, or yeah, which situations are there where you can not use all of them, but only one of them. That's the most important information here. Very often I hear one narai so wasoyo. Which country are you? Country are you from? Which country? Which country? Okay, so you have a limited number of options, but it's a very big number of options. And also it's yeah, it's not like a selection that was presented to you beforehand. It's a selection, a limited number of options that is the same for every person, and that selection existed since always. So maybe that's a distinction here. Let's see. Musin. Don't use this when asking about type of characteristics. Don't use this when giving somebody opinions to choose from. Okay. However, do use this when you can't expect what the answer will be. So the answer could be anything, unlimited number, and you have no idea what it could be. Musin. Don't use this when asking about something you can't expect. So especially this case where you would use musin. But do use this oton to ask about characteristics, and when you are giving somebody options. I think this is a distinction. Without reading further, this or ne is like with that example sentence here is hopefully probably because here nobody really gave you the options. It's still a limited number of options, countries, but it's not like somebody gave it to you. It's just everyone knows it's a limited number of options. Maybe that's the case. Let's see. Don't use for characteristics. Don't use if you can't expect the answer. Okay, yeah, okay. This is okay. Also giving somebody options. Okay, it's also about giving options. Let's see. So unfortunately, my prediction is not true. There's a bunch of similar examples which each word. Wow. Here's a bunch of similar examples. Yeah, this is wrong, right? With each word being used. I was like, what am I reading? Am I not able to read this? In which each word is being used? Or with each word being used, right? Or am I wrong about this? Anyways, this is not what we try to learn here. We learn about Korean. So where it's also possible. What house do you live in? Which house do you live in? Which house do you live in? By the way, before I continue to read further again, I'm really looking forward to the exercise here because I think this is a great topic to just have example sentences and you have to put in the question word that fits to the question, to that translation, or yeah, to the question. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the exercise from the workbook. 무슨 쪽으로, so what direction, 가고 싶어요. In what direction do you want to go? This would generally not be said in Korean. You would most likely say this when standing on a street or somewhere similar, where you have a selection of options to choose from. Therefore, one of the following would be used instead. Yeah. It's not like a person is standing in one spot and you have all the 360 degrees, like in every single degree he can go, every single direction. No, if you're asking about the direction, there is usually like 3 or 4 options. Right. What skirt did you buy? Okay. This table is equally confusing, but it helped me organize my thoughts. So I thought I would present it here as well. You know, I thought about creating a table for this. When I was around here, before starting this one, yeah, here, when I was here, I thought about starting a table. But he did it already, so I'm happy that I didn't start a table again. Okay, object is unknown. 무슨, okay. Unknown, unlimited number of options, okay. Could be okay, but would be referring to characteristics, okay. Awkward. Yeah, this is a quiz show example that I talked about. This is definitely the quiz show example. Characteristics. Only this one. Okay. Choosing among options. Oh, more in 33. Ooh. Ooh. So the only row here in this table where all the options are possible, no option is like crossed out or strike through, has even more in lesson 33. What car do you want to buy? So with this one, you have no idea about the option. This fits with the object is unknown. Okay. If you never talked about this person, about what his preferences are, or you don't know if he was at a certain dealership, or maybe 2 or 3 people looking at their cars, if you don't know all of this, you have no idea, then it's 무슨. This one could be to the characteristics, and both of these could be if you know that he has a certain number of options. For example, because you know he went to 3 different people looking at their cars, you know those 3 cars, and you're asking him what car will he buy from those. I love how he says awkward, not wrong. Yeah, I guess he's referring to the situation where you speak to a Korean and you use one of the awkward ones. The Korean person would probably still understand you in the end, right? I guess that's why he's saying awkward and not straight up wrong. Unsure of specifics. I read some book. Unsure of specifics. I forgot about this row. This row. I have to reread this row. Yeah. Okay. This was the non-question. The non-question usage. Okay, I see. Right. It's not a question. Good. Very good. Very good. This is a good start, but there are other specific situations when you might use one of these words. For example, one has other usages as well. You will learn about some of the other usages of one in 25 and 72. Great. In addition to 어떤 and one, in addition, as odon and one are used when options are given, we will continue to talk about these words in lesson 33 when you learn how to give options to people. Okay. Oh wow, we actually have 5 viewers. At least that's what my screen is telling me here. So for anyone who's on the stream the first time, thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions, go and use the chat. Okay. How many? J. Words with counters. Okay. Before I explain how to ask somebody how many, as in how many cars do you have, let's review how to say I have 5 cars. Remember what you need, that you need to use counters. Yes, I know this. I know this. Noun, number, counter. Noun, number, counter. Particle. Noun, number, counter, particle. Noun, number, counter, particle. Noun, number, counter, particle. Not the best word to remember. Also not the best word to pronounce. Yeah. I have 2 cars. 저는 차 2대가 있어요. 저는 차 2대가 있어요.
저는 차 2대가 있어요.
I've met 5 friends yesterday. 나는 어제 친구 5. Okay, 친구 5. 5 is 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah. 친구 5명을 만났어. Okay. I saw that movie 5 times. 저는 그 영화를 5번 봤어요.
저는 그 영화를 5번 봤어요.
5번. Okay. If you want to ask how many, you must include 몇 before the counter. Before the counter. So noun, particle, 몇, counter. What the particle which was after the counter before is now after the noun and not after the counter. That's very unfortunate. So here it's noun, particle, 몇, counter. Very unfortunate. There was another way to count. I want to see that other way very quickly. I will find it pretty quickly, I think. Negative sentences. Was it lesson 9? Conjugate Korean numbers, lesson 10. Okay. Counters. It's also possible to put the number counter combination before the noun that is being counted. However, the other method is more common. When placed before the noun, where is added. Oui, oui, we. Where? I'm not sure how to pronounce this, to be honest. Is it just e? Is it oui? Anyways, here we have number, counter, oui, noun. Yeah, okay, just like okay. Okay, 두 명의 사람. Number counter, particle. Is there another particle? Can we have another like full sentence? Here we have noun, number, counter, particle. So here we have the normal way, the NNCP way. Okay. Okay, we'll just ignore this one. I thought it's maybe similar to the thing that we are learning now, but I guess it's not. Okay, back to how many. So, 몇 before the counter. So here we have noun, particle, 몇, counter, NPMC. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like that the particle is also in a different place. If the particle would be in the same place here in the end after the counter, 차 몇 대가, 차 몇 대가, 차 두 대가. That would be perfect. You just replace the number with 몇, but sadly that's not the case. The particle is also shifted. Okay. Yeah, here. Notice the difference in placement of the particles. When you say 몇 번 or 몇 대, it's probably also a special translation pronunciation rule here. Let me check that. So this CH and then followed by a D, for example, for 대. Yeah, definitely. Well, not super different, but it's a D. So what about CH and then a B? I'm actually not even sure if this applies because there's a space in between, but I will check it out anyways. And the B, where's the B? Okay, so it looks like it's always transformed to a D. So yeah, let's look at if this applies, even if there's a space. Let's listen to this.
차가 몇 대 있어요?
몇 대? Yeah, sounded like a D. CH followed by an M. CH followed by an M. Ooh, okay, here we can clearly listen to it. So is it an N now or not?
친구를 몇 명 만났어요? 친구를 몇 명 만났어요?
It is, right? Myeonmyeong.
친구를 몇 명 만났어요? 친구를 몇 명 만났어요?
A little bit hard to hear, but I think it's connected. It's changed. Ah, okay. The Korean characters are the yes, I see. So, little side fact here about the English and Korean switching problems. In StarCraft, when you finish a game, you say GG, right? So in many of video games, multiplayer games, you say GG at the end of the game, good game. And for Koreans, they use this one. They use this one, which sounds like the English GG, right? It's JJ or JJ. I don't know. So they kind of emulate the sound of the English. Good game. They emulate the double G, the GG. But then, because they play with the English layout enabled because of the hotkeys of the game, they actually say WW. So that's something that you will always see with Korean people playing multiplayer games. They always use WW, but they mean GG. Okay, just a little side story. Where would we stop here? Okay, we stopped when I asked about the pronunciation here. So the CH in the end gets transformed to D or N. Okay. Just like most other question words, particles are not typically attached. Nonetheless, if you place the particles after myot, no, your questions would still be understood. But to me, it is more natural to place them after the noun that you're asking about. Okay, so he's saying to me it is more natural. So the question is it also more natural to Koreans? I mean, that's what he's referring to, I guess. He means that he is seeing it with Korean people more often. But he's saying it in a weird way, so I would like to have more different opinions about that, if possible from Koreans. I should ask Caster Muse. He's often in the chat. I can just message him on Discord. He's Korean, so I will just copy this. I will copy this sentence to him. One time with the ga after the cha, and one time with the ga after myot. Then you would not use ga. You would use e, right? Myotchi. I will see. I will try. I will message him. Let's see what he's saying. What is more natural to him. Okay. Okay, so I messaged him. Let's see if he replies during the lesson, which is basically over now. Oh, he's already typing. He's typing, so I will tell you the answer very soon. Okay, so he's also saying particle after noun. Okay, so now we have a real Korean source as well, that it's more natural after the noun. Okay, very good. Just to show you, these would be understandable, and it probably just depends on the speaker. Okay. How many cars do you have? Wait, what? Oh! Oh! Oh, here we actually have the particle after the mjot, after the counter. So I will say him another option. So we have 3 options now. So this option that I have highlighted here, this is the option that is closest to the actual sentence. I have 2 cars, which would I would prefer, but well, it's probably not important what I prefer, but yeah, he's not replying anymore, but I guess he will say no, that the particle should come after the noun still. Yeah, Kaya, real Korean, because the person, the author of this website, of this lesson, because he's living in Korea for 15 years and has a Korean wife of many years, so he's like half Korean. He's living in Korea, he's only talking to Koreans, and his wife is Korean, so he's speaking Korean at home as well, so that's half Korean for me. And for a long time, that's important. Okay, so. Here we continue. Also make sure not to confuse these types of sentences with these similar sentences you learned in a previous lesson. I have some cars. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the question mark is important here. Yeah, I remember that this one is some. Yeah, I know this. Okay, the difference between the first 3 sentences and the last 3 sentences is that the first 3 sentences are questions and the last 3 sentences are statements. Remember, when you're asking a question, that the intonation, when you're asking a question, remember that the intonation needs to rise at the end of the sentence. By using mjot something, you can also ask, how old are you? What time is it? Oh, this is what time is it? She, okay, she, okay, she is, isn't time she gun? And isn't she just the hour counter? I thought it's just the hour counter. Like, what hour is it? Is it also for time in general? Also for minutes? I would like, if my task would be to translate this, I would have used Shigan. What is your yes referring to, Kaya? Would you also use Shigan? Or do you just need to use the hour counter to ask for the full time for hours and minutes? Okay, so Caster Muse again replied, and he's still saying particle after noun is more natural. But noun mjot counter particle is acceptable, he's saying. So that the last example is acceptable, he's saying. But the other one is not acceptable. So to say this again, so this one is the most natural with the particle after the noun. Then where did I get that example from where I have the particle after mjot? Ah, here. Ah, yeah, here. This one. Particle after mjot. Ah, never mind. I misunderstood this. He's saying particle. This one stands for the noun. So mjot, noun particle. So it's essentially. No, wait, what? I have no idea. Or is this one for the counter? I'm not sure what this line is implying here, or what is the placeholder. If you place the particles after mjot line. So is it after mjot or is it after mjot and something else? But something else can only be the counter, because the noun is never after mjot. I'm a bit confused now, but doesn't really matter. The main information is, by far, it looks like the most natural is particle after after noun. But particle after counter is acceptable. Okay. No, never use she gun. This for hour and minutes. Okay, so she is for hour and minutes. Okay. Good, thanks. How old are you? So CH and then an S. S. D and double S. Okay. D and double S. So Miot Sarieo. 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 Miot Sarieo.
몇 살이에요?
Miot Sarieo.
몇 살이에요?
Miot Sarieo.
몇 살이에요?
Okay. How old is your younger brother? 너의 남동생은 몇 살이요? 살이야. 너의 남동생은 몇 살이야?
너의 남동생은 몇 살이야?
살이야. Okay. Okay. So now we learned about myot, basically replacing the number in a sentence to make it a question with a little particle shift, but okay. And next time we will learn about 얼마나, 얼마예요. So that was a lesson for today. So next time, again, 얼마나. And this one is actually not the shortest chapter in the world. So this is a pretty big chapter in itself. And then if we go through that, we also will revisit the good old subject particles again. In a very long, very long chapter. So I'm not sure if we can handle 2 super long chapters tomorrow. And also it's quite tricky. Nice. So will be interesting. I'm still wondering if we should do a little vocabulary review in between as well, because they will just add up. We'll probably do that in the beginning tomorrow. I don't like not doing vocabulary for too many days in a row, so we'll do this vocabulary review tomorrow in the beginning, and then we'll go back into the chapter. So we'll not learn new words here, we'll just review and then go into the chapter again, into the grammar, and see how far we can go. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. 좋아요. Thank you. Bye bye. 안녕.